sustainability starts with financial sustainability. Nothing is going to last if it isn't profitable. And that's kind of what where our starting point is. That in order to create something which is going to last a long time and create value and help develop these economies, it has to be financially sustainable and financially viable from the beginning. So that's kind of almost your building block. One of Norfund's roles is to mobilize private capital. I mean, it's not just about allocating Norwegian state funds to emerging markets. It's also about bringing other investors with us, not into areas which are outside their risk appetite, but to take, to be part of the risk mitigation, bring them with us. Growth rates are high. They have been high, they've been coming down, but they're still high. So, and where you have high economic growth, you have a lot of opportunity because there's new things being created all the time. So I think most people are familiar with that, and that's kind of the attraction of it, investing in emerging markets. I think one particular area there's interest in urban areas is the kind of rooftop energy supply solution, and that's something we haven't seen much of yet, but I think it's going to start coming. It's investment, that's what's needed, and I think that's what African countries want. They want investors to come and invest in their economies. Okay, it takes two to tango. I mean, you have to create right framework conditions, right regulations, and you have to bring risks down in a country to a level in which it becomes attractive. I mean, it's not just that investors want high returns, they also want acceptable risks. So I think there's also an obligation on governments to create an environment in which investors are willing to deploy capital. And if they do that, then capital will flow, and we do see that happening. Many of these economies are relatively small, so you have an opportunity for your voice to be heard. It's not that difficult to make contacts, to meet the people who are interested in your business area, to have an interaction with government officials, to understand the regulatory system. So I think you have an opportunity. You don't have to be a huge utility or a huge oil company in order to understand and have your voice being heard. And I think that's one of the benefits of working in some of these countries. I think that sometimes the perceptions are overblown, and it's clearly possible to do clean business in Africa. But I think you have to go in and say, these are my principles, this is how we work. And it may take a little bit longer in some cases, but it's entirely possible to do business in Africa on a clean basis. Many countries are cleaning up their act. I mean, you have presidents in Tanzania, presidents in Nigeria who are on huge anti-corruption campaigns. Rwanda is well known to be a country which doesn't tolerate corruption. I think many of our neighboring countries in the Nordic countries are looking at what NABA is doing, thinking, hang on, why aren't we doing something similar at the same scale? So I think collaborating with some of the neighboring countries, maybe bringing some of them business interests into the NABA conference, make it more of a Nordic meeting rather than just a Norwegian meeting. I think that would be an interesting way forward. Norfund's objective is to invest in profitable and financially viable private enterprises in emerging markets. That's our overall mandate. We're also investing in Africa's largest wind farm, the Lake Turkana wind project in northern Kenya. In fact, it's the largest foreign investment in Kenya ever, building that plant, and that's going to come